see, guys. Again. Okay. All right, there we go. Grab a little mic. Okay, now we on this side. We sunny side up now. Everything is Gucci Poochie. Assuming. All right. Boom. All right, you guys. Here we go. Let me erase these other ones. Because I know they're in there. Yeah, we on this side. It finally came on in, huh? All right, hold on. Let me erase these other joints because I know it's going to upload them. Or maybe it didn't register. That's good. All right. I can't see. Let me see. Said, what do you even do? That's an excellent question. I'm your beloved brother, Dr. Ray OrgoniteTEK. I am a master OrgoniteTEK builder. I build organite pyramids, organite pendants, organite unks. Teacher of Raynology. I teach from the degree of Ray, which is an ancient Comedian deity that signifies the sun. I am a wielder of primordial energy, meaning that I'm a spiritual being that comes from a universe that predates the physical one. I'm an altar activation expert. I show people how to construct altars, functional altars, that will put your consciousness online with the afterlife. It was the most expensive thing that I make. It's called the 13 Key Technology Pyramid. And you can see that on the website. That's the website right there, 1089techvision.com. We do, these are some of my devices right here. This is one of my chest plates. I am an expert at eradicating electrical pollution and chemtrails out your sky. Have a growing community. I'm kind of just reestablishing myself with the TikTok, but I do have a community on the TikTok where I have a pretty big, I have a pretty big following on TikTok, right? The TikTok algorithm has been good to me at first, but it's seeing how fast I was getting followers, they slowed me all the way down, right? But check me out. You know, you could just Google me. You could Google Paruti, OrgoniteTEK, 1089 TV. It's all the same. So which color has the longest wavelength? That would be the infrared spectrum. The one that we're in right now. It's very slow, right? And you can see that on an EKG chart or EKG machine. And when they show you that Byron, be like, boo, boo. Yeah, but that's the name of this platform. Parvez is Q&A with Dr. Ray. Hey, Gary New Hayden. That's my man, Gary New. Peace and love, teed up 99. That is that relation to the density. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Say how many TikTok followers you have. I got over 30,000 TikTok followers. I should have over 300,000, but I stay shadow banned. They don't allow people to ask questions in my comment section. People be like, yo, it ain't letting me ask the question. That's why we done switched over here to the YouTube. They be hating over there, man. Okay, what's up, Hearts Revolution? Say your 1089 tech space man. That's Trenton, right? I want to say Trenton. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I got well over 1.5 million views on the TikTok. Over 1.5 million. I'm being modest. I've uploaded well over 1,000 videos on the TikTok, and now I'm about to transfigurate them videos over to the YouTube. What's up, DeSoul? What's up, beloved? Talk to me. Yeah, this is the third class we done did today, y'all. Y'all see how y'all already know. Y'all know how I get out. Y'all know how I get out. And man, the last seminar we had, the S seminar, just going back over the S seminar again. He said, "Are you from Wakanda?" No, Wakanda is an imaginary place. I'm from Gonquia, what you call the New World of North America. We call it Gonquia, the land of the frogs. I'm from a Maxim. I'm an indigenous American Indian according to corporate status, right? According to the corporate infrastructure of this matrix, they would call me an American Indian, right? Yeah, so like we did the S seminar and We did Q&A, half of that the second day. And we ended up doing Q&A to about 1 in the morning. It just kept on going. And like I tell y'all, well, you know, just to continue where we left off from the TikTok live, this information is eternal. You are an eternal being. A lot of people be thinking you could take in eternal information and get it all in 10 minutes or 10 hours. No, man, it's eternal. It ain't gonna stop. It's just you're gonna have to structure, you're gonna have to take all of these notes and stuff. And that's what I was saying. I hope a lot of the day oneers, the people that's been there, been to several seminars like Dia Eyes or AP and Shanika, Yolanda, Jester. I want you guys to be able to see what type of notes they be taking, because you see they don't be saying shit. They don't be having nothing to say, right? Mel, shouts out to Melly Mel. He said pharaohs wasn't black. They were African, but not black. Do you got a question, Bashar? Because I remember you coming in here last time. We ain't got that many people in our lives. And you should ask some questions. I never said that the pharaohs was black. I never said that. That's a red flag to me. When people attempt to tell me what I said, not knowing what type of memory I got, I know I didn't say that the pharaohs was black. I never said that. And I never said that they was African either. Right? African that's a European terminology. And I know that everything started in the Happy Nile Valley. You would know that if you follow my platform closely. If you watch my videos and seeing what I was talking about instead of waiting to troll me when I come on the live. He said, but the pics behind you, brother. What about it? Where behind me does that say that pharaohs was black? And I don't know where you're coming from. That's why this is Q&A with Dr. Ray. Ask the question. Don't assume. You know what they say about people that assume? When you assume, you will make an ass of yourself. And you're not aware of this, Bashar, but everybody that's in this room outside of yourself know everything about me. They've been following me on TikTok. They've been following me on Instagram. We got our own community in the Google chat. You're the only one that's in here that don't belong to none of that. So everybody looking at you like, yo, what's this nigga all about? You're coming off like a troll. This is called Q&A with Dr. Ray. And we do take questions. I'm going to have to figure out the way to do it different than how we do it on a TikTok. But that's what the name of these lives are, is Q&A with Dr. Ray. Right? We call it 1089 TV. And we cover everything under, over, and within the sun, over, under, and within the planet. Then what can we do to better our communities in this great day and time? Well, first, we can better ourselves. Once you start to better yourself, then the reality will reflect outside of you. Now, if you would like to protect your community, you could get you a 13 key technology pyramid, and it will cover everything in the radius of that pyramid for up to 15 miles in the sky, 15 miles in front of you, 15 miles behind you, 15 miles to the left of you, 15 miles to the right of you, and 15 miles beneath your feet, right? And that resonance will flow through your whole neighborhood, just like it do with mine, right? Right in my neighborhood. And, you know, all of the obese girls, and the obese men, they started walking. Like, the more I kept doing exercise, the more people kept coming outside and walking. And they didn't see the exercises I was doing in my room. I wasn't doing them on my front lawn. I was just doing it in my bedroom. And the energy from that pyramid was emitting out. It got to the point they built a Planet Fitness in my neighborhood. So there's no excuse why people are unhealthy and have bad exercise habits or, you know, high blood pressure and stuff, right? Peace and love, Miss Lovely. Hey, Miss Lovely. What's going on, loved one? Yeah, but I hope that answers your question. I don't know what happened to Bashar. He got the hell on. Some people, they don't know what to do. They just be wanting to troll. And y'all see now, that's why I got the infrastructure of the 1089 tech community set up the way that I did. It's to filter out these trolls and these people that want to come in here and attempt to mock me, attempt to assume that they know where I'm talking about or where I'm going, you know. And they're going to get a little bit crazier, you guys. They're going to get crazier and quackier. I'm telling you. I disturb the demons in people. That shit disturb their demons. They like, damn, man, who the fuck this nigga think he is? That's your demon. It ain't even be them. It be the demon in them. But they not aware of themselves at that level. They look for a reason like, man, this nigga gotta be wrong. He gotta be doing something off. Like, no, just because your ass do something wrong, just because your ass do something that's off, that don't mean that everybody on the same page with your goofy ass. Right? Just like when I be talking about the 1089 tech community and there's people that never bought a piece of tech, they like, he just trying to get somebody to buy. Man, I got so many people, so many repeat customers. You think that's something I'm worried about? I'm doing your ass a solid, right? Because most of the people in the Orgon community, they like, yo, man, your shit powerful. You need to take it up. They be telling me to price people out. Like, yo, man, price people out. I be having some empathy for people that don't have no monetary drive and motivation, so that they can make it, so that they can get access to some of this stuff. Because I know it's hard to earn. I know that, but I want to make things in a graspable range for people before it get out of hand. Because it's gonna get out of hand. I'm attempting to save grace for people. And they like, oh, that shit too expensive. Like, man, bullshit. My sister is a CMT therapist. She also an accountant now. But she told me, she was like, bro, this my medallion. She's a CMT therapist. She's certified. She said, man, I had made her a medallion for her birthday. She was like, this shit is at least $300. That was the medallion. A piece like this, she was like, you need to be charging people $600 for that, bro. You cutting these people a break. All right? She said you're gonna attract broke people. And then them same people would be like, damn, that's expensive. But you would go spend $200 on some cocaine and snort it up your nose. Make that shit make sense. You would go to Papa Do's and spend $200 on the meal and shit it out. And it's gone forever. Until the next time you decide to go there and buy some more of that bullshit. Make it make sense. My pyramids is so powerful. Listen, that shit done fucked my computer up twice just for me having it. I'm talking about the 13 key technology. The last 13 key technology pyramids that I constructed in my home. It fucked up my computer and it fucked up the television in my bedroom. It made the TV, I got an 80-inch screen in my living room. It made the TV go black. We had to, this shit worked, man. He said, I wonder why it called blow, because it blow my mind thinking about it, Brother Ray. Yeah, man. But that shit just be mystifying me. People be like, oh, man, that shit expensive. It's like, are you kidding me? Especially if you got children. Every time we go to the Chick-fil-A, and my children grown now. This before they was grown. Them meals was $60, $80, between $60 and $80 a piece. I got 3 children. We got a family of 5. If everybody gonna eat, it's $60 or better. Period. Period. And now my sons, they both was in AAU. When they started playing AAU, them niggas eat like horses. I'm like, damn, who ate all the damn dinner? Like, I thought everybody ate. Like, no, nigga, I didn't even eat it all. Damn. My bad. That shit was going on for about a year. I couldn't wait for I was like, one of y'all gotta go. Right? That's right, Mother Edenberg. Well said. They don't be wanting to invest in themselves, man. And that's fine. That's fine. They don't have to invest in themselves. You want to do what you want to do what you gonna do. Like I be saying, I'm not here to twist nobody's arm off and attempt to over convince people at this point. You know, I done put my life on the line for this shit. So I don't give a damn what people say. I don't care if they don't believe it, or I'm not here to spread no belief or no speculation. We here to get clarity in this great day and time called Noontide Ray. That's all we here to do is bring forth some clarity. People need clarity. Clarity strengthens your it strengthens your ability to make sound decisions. It raises your esteem. It gives you empowerment with that you know. And I'll be doing the people a disservice if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. And that had to be explained to me from my own dearly departed. They the ones that told me, like, nah, man, you always dropping the knowledge anyway. You just got to put everything else down and pick this up because the world needs you. And I stood all the way at attention and I locked in for the brother that was in here. I think he left out of here, but he was like, hey, how many followers I have on TikTok? And I ended up with 10,000 followers within 90 days, right? I had about 10 videos that went viral in my first 60 days. And they hurried up and slowed me down. So when I came on the TikTok, once I figured out how everything worked, man, they hurried up and slowed my shit down. They kept they kept suspending my lives. At one point, and this was my first 90 days now. The first 90 days, they was like, you about to be banned from TikTok. I mean, so when I had that clarification that, yo, you need to get out here and spread this information because wasn't nobody else doing it. And when my Supreme Grandmaster teacher came to me, it was like, man, get your ass on there and set the record straight. I started seeing Rashad Jamal, right? And all that pseudo-ass information he was giving to people. See, when people talk pseudo like that, what we used to call in Wahani, moosing, making up shit, when you're going to track people that are emotionally distraught, that don't have it together, that's broken. And some of his followers or people that was receiving his information as, you know, the absolute, they started doing crazy shit. They started doing crazy things. And I seen that shit. I was like, damn, even some of the victims, those that have transitioned into the afterlife, they came to me. They came to me and said, yo, you got to look at what this. They didn't say that he was responsible for their death, but they said that he was a catalyst in their death with his irresponsibility with the information he was putting out. Now, I'm not nothing like that motherfucker. No disrespect to him, right? Because I don't wish jail on nobody or prison. I don't wish that shit on nobody else, right? Except anyone that really deserves it. But what happened was some of his followers had unalived a few people. You know what I mean? His shit got a body count on it. And then he was giving off, what's the word I'm looking for? He was giving off this goofy ass nigga was giving a watered down version of the Wapu. Talk about Rashad Jamal. That's what I'm talking about. Because they kept on prompting me that I needed to get on TikTok. And I'm like, why do I need to get on this TikTok? That shit was coming through everybody's mouth. Like, yo, you need to be on TikTok. And then when that shit came from my master teacher, he was like, get on that TikTok now. I was like, whoa, shit, okay. when Baba speak up, I'm gonna jump on that shit. I'm like, man, I guess I do need to be doing this. You know, shouts out to all the brothers from Mirror Number 19 and everybody that was in my personal circle. They was like, yo, man, yeah, you need to get on that. You need to get back to the information because I had got blocked from Facebook. I used to drop so much information on Facebook. I had 3 different Facebooks. All of them had too many friends. I couldn't even add no more friends on there. That's how much information I was dropping on the Facebook. And every time an election come up, they eliminate my page. Anytime a malefic event that they wanted to set forth, they get rid of my page. I'll be like, damn, I can't check back in. My page would be debunked. And then it'd be something like COVID. Like when COVID happened, right before COVID, they got rid of my Facebook. They took my Facebook, they eradicated it. Because I was already telling people about Andy Fauci or Tony Fauci, whatever the fuck his name is. Right? He's a demon. I don't care what nobody said. That dude's a fucking demon. He the one that brought AIDS to America. They manufactured that shit in the lab and then gonna try to blame it on so-called African people. Funky motherfucker. You hear me? So they've been attempting to keep me off of these social media networks for years. Even on the Instagram, they slow. I was like, man, let me go ahead and try to get on the Instagram. I started posting them videos on Instagram. Man, that shit slowed to a crawl. First, they was letting 300 people see it. 200 people see it. Now they only let 12 people see it. You know what I mean? And all of this happened in 3 days. So let me try to keep uploading on. But I already know. You know, I know they got me marked. It's no, I'm not surprised. But they don't want people to be inspired. They don't want your awareness to be expanded. They don't want your intelligence to increase. Because then they can't profit from you. And it'll make it that much harder for you to be mentally enslaved. And that's the degree that I bring people to where you cannot be mentally enslaved no more. You can't be tricked with their chicanery, their tomfoolery. None of that stuff will work for them. You know, like those brothers that go in there and be smoking, they be smoking dicks for chains and cars and all that shit. Those people are mentally enslaved. He said, Moose, help us. What's up, Mustard? You got a question? All right now, Moose, don't come in here on that bullshit. Don't come in here on that bullshit, man. Yeah, troll. Yeah, and for you trolls, y'all gotta just realize when you come into this space, I know y'all perusing like, I know the trolls gonna come through. I just gotta let y'all trolls know. When y'all come into this space, most of the people in here already know. You the eyeball when you come in here. If you don't belong to the 1089 tech community, if you're not on the Google chat with us, you the eyeball. Right now. I hate to say it. If you don't know us from TikTok, you don't follow me on TikTok, you the eyeball. Yeah, I'm almost sure they got the most bots. But I just got to get that disclaimer to the trolls because I know they watching and lurking. You look real goofy. You look crazy. Like, damn. But we're going to put our imprint on the YouTube. It's happening in real time. And I don't know. I had a premonition. Shouts out to Sobek, the deity Sobek. That's who was on the left side of my shoulder there. The alligator. He came to me the other day while I was doing my moon magic intentions. I was at my altar just chanting. And he was like, nah, you need to get on the YouTube now. You know what I mean? The YouTube needs you. Because I always peruse YouTube. But I don't watch television. My television is YouTube. He said, I just wanted to know about the holy pharaohs. The holly pharaohs? Yeah, you're going to have to be a little bit more vivid about your question. Because this is Q&A with Dr. Ray. And I got to say it just for you. All right? We do questions and answers. But when you ask the question, I can only respond to the question as clearly as you ask it. He said, yes, sir. I just want to know about the holy pharaohs. Like, how were they like to live? Well, the Happy Nile Valley, right? The land of Amun-Ra or Amun-Re or Tama-Re is the source of all knowledge. So all the living that everybody doing all over the world, they got that shit from the Happy Nile Valley. That goes from sitting at a table, sitting in a chair, having dinner, breakfast and lunch. All of that shit was started in the Happy Nile Valley. The fork, the spoon, the cup, hunting, fishing, weaving, stoves, electricity, combs, mirrors, brushes, toothbrush, jewelry. All of that stuff originated. Exactly. So it ain't nothing that you're doing right now. Even your so-called political systems, all of that shit was abstracted and absorbed out of the Happy Nile Valley. Our chief god is called Amen. Muslims say amen. Christians say amen. And Hebrews, Jews, Israelites, Zetgeist, Kabbalah sites, whatever the fuck they want to call it. It's just so many different names with them. They all say amen at the end of their prayer. And they're giving it up to an Egyptian god, which is the god of the sun. So everything comes from the Happy Nile Valley, right? Everything. So when you say the pharaohs, which that's a Hyksos term, that's the evil immigrants that came out of Mount Haran, the Caucasus Mountains, in the land of Canaan, the squatting gypsies, because that's all Egyptos means is burnt-faced gypsies. Their face got burnt when they got exposed to that much sun, and that's why they stayed right there at the banks of the Nile River, like all gypsies do. Gypsies like to stay by the water, right? And they called that little area where they were squatting at Egypt, right? This became your Hyksos and your Greece and your Greeks. But what they did was they shrouded the original terminologies of the people of that land. They shrouded that and they started using their own fucking terminologies. So when you say Pharaoh, right, they're talking about a ruler. We say Afirti, right, or a hierophant. These were our terminologies that they didn't want to use because they wanted to make the rest of the world think that they was that, right? Said they worship 12 gods. No, it's only one God. And I'm using that term loosely. And that's your son. That's Amen or Amun. When you talk the 12 that you're associating with, that's more than one sun or 12 suns. Those are 12 constellations that you're making a reference to. I can only assume that that's where your train of thought is going, right? All of your concepts came out the Happy Nile Valley, every single one. It ain't one thing that they did. And when I say they, I'm talking about those outside the Happy Nile Valley. Because we did have cousins. Our cousins were the Sumerians, right? They were an offshoot of the beings from the land of Amun-Ra or Amun-Re. That's described to you in your Bible in Genesis chapter 1, verse 23 through 26. When it said, and God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness. And most Christians have never read that in their life. You know what they'll say? You know what these religious people will say? Oh, I don't read the Old Testament. You know, we just read the New Testament. But you know what your Hebraic scholar will say? They will find that offensive for you to think that God had to renew anything. Because that's a subtle confession to say that God made a mistake. And according to them, God doesn't make no mistakes. So he doesn't have to have a New Testament. He has a testament, and that's it. Right? You don't have a New Testament. He don't got a new idea or a new concept. He got one. He's eternal. And I'm just speaking in the context of that religious institution and its doctrine, right? And most people are not that erudite when it comes to studying scripture. They don't even study it. They just nod their head and say amen behind Pastor Porkchop, who keep attacking you. You're attacking your sacral area with shame and guilt and manipulating your emotions so that they can keep passing that saucer around. And he not giving you nothing of equal value in exchange for your hard-working dollar. You hear me? And I used to be mystified. You know, that's what made me come out of Christianity. Said, do you eat meat? Yes, I eat meat. You can't tell though. I eat once a day. Primarily because I haven't eaten today. I haven't eaten a meal today. I take moringa, right? And I sell this on my website as well. Moringa got enough protein in it. In 1 teaspoon, right? And this much moringa, that's enough protein. That's more protein than a dozen eggs. That got 7 times the vitamin C of 7 oranges. Said, what's your thoughts about Anubis? What's your question about Anubis? Don't ask me what my thoughts is about Anubis, because again, that's the Greek way of saying Anubu, right? First of all. And that's the Greeks' interpretation of Anubu. But you had to ask a question. Shouts out to Gary New and to Super Ophi. You had to ask your question about Anupu. What do you want to know? Don't ask me what do I think or what's my thoughts. I got I got a vast database. And I already then gave my thoughts on those things. You just haven't heard them before. See, it ain't about me. It's about the questions that you might have, beloved. And I'm here to answer your questions. All right? I'm not here to give you my thoughts and my views. I've already done that. I do that quite eloquently. This is my 3rd live today. And I'm here to answer people questions. This is called Q&A with Dr. Ray, right? Oh, man, I ain't even tell Ricky that it got right. He said, who was that person or whoever he was? Anubu is the son of Asaru, who you refer to as Osiris. He is the deity of funerary rites. He is also the deity of embalming, right? He is also a dispatcher of souls into the celestial courts in the human afterlife. And that's who he is. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, but I don't get too religious about eating. I eat meat. I like to eat. I don't know a nigga alive that don't like chicken. But I eat a little chicken. I eat some chicken and some rice and some string beans. But look at me. I'm not out of shape. You know, I don't eat 3 meals a day. Haven't done that in many years. You hear me? A lot of people that be over zealous about not eating meat and all that stuff, you got to look at what their character and their behavior is like. You know what I mean? And what type of person they are, especially if they condemn people. You know, now I do tell people, don't be eating no pig. Don't eat no pig. Don't eat catfish. You're not supposed to be eating you welcome, Miss Lovely. You know, don't be eating none of that crap. But you okay, you want to have you a steak, some cheeseburgers and shit. Vegetarians act, or vegans, or whatever the fuck they want. They act like they not gonna die one day. You know what I mean? I had a homie that was a vegan, and he used to always condemn people. Oh, you're gonna die eating that meat. That nigga died in a car accident. Didn't even make it to 40 years old. And I used to tell him, I was like, yo, man, stop trying to condemn people with what they eat. Like you just so holy and right. You a piece of shit. You just happen to be eating clean. That don't mean that you're not a piece of shit. That don't mean that you all right, then gonna make a vegan burger. Well said, Gary. No, man. See, that's what I'm saying, sis. Listen to what I'm telling you. Because I've been on this 29 years. I used to be a vegan. And see, I was a real vegan. I was a raw vegan, meaning I didn't eat anything that was cooked. Anything that you had to put seasoning on and all that, I didn't fuck with it. All of my food had to be fresh, or I didn't eat. And it started making me sick. I was getting sick like that. You hear me? Some people be like, no, it make you like this. Like, bullshit, man. Bullshit. You got an upper row of teeth and a bottom row of teeth. You got a genetical line that's connected to a dinosaur called the Dimetrodon. That's the first dinosaur or lizard to come up out of the water and thrive on the land and be able to emit a hot or a warm body temperature through his blood. But that's a whole nother story in itself, right? Because the same people that say they're not going to eat nothing but plants, when it's time for you to die, what do you think the plants is eating? They eat dead rabbits, dead raccoons, dead squirrels, and you turn around and eat them. So, I mean, everything has to feed. The whole thing is not to overfeed. You hear me? And that's not more important than, because you do want to eat clean. Let me put everything in this appropriate context. You do want to eat clean, but to the radical degree that people say, oh, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that. You still gonna die one day, regardless of what the fuck you eat. Some people can't wrap their head around that. Now, the one thing that will quicken your death is eating that pig. It will decrease your quality of life. It also destroys your inner beauty. And as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad once said, you got to live to eat. Are you living to eat, or do you eat to live? Right? Some people just living to eat. And that's the difference. You know, and I grew up I come from a Nation of Islam background. We grew up eating fish, vegetarian beans, bean pies. We had to eat fruit all the time, vegetables all the time. You know what I mean? Hey, Virginia Jones. Paris, what's up, Paris? Where the hell you been at, girl? Said peace and love, Dr. Ray. I've been seeing these videos of an African choir, and most of the time they're singing the same song and it's in their native tongue. Every time I hear it, it's like a tingle goes through my whole body. Can you explain what the feeling is? No, I would have to hear the song. It's just that whatever octave that they're singing in, it touched you in your emotional field, and you started to feel it. Same way I feel when I hear Minnie Riperton, right? When I listen to Denise Williams with certain songs that my mother used to play and things that remind me of her. When I hear the songs, they belt out those those tunes. That shit hit me. When I hear that song Sadie, it's the same thing. It's just that you don't understand the language that they speak. So you can't interpret. I guarantee you this. Listen to this, Paris. If you get the transcript of what it's saying in that language, I guarantee you won't be crying no more after you after you hear it. You're gonna be like, oh, that's nice and beautiful, but now I don't want to cry about it because I know what it means. That's what the grimoire do to you. You hear me? Oh man, what's going on, Paris? You been MIA, girl. How that baby doing? No, don't send me no goddamn song and then say, yeah, we talk about my absence and stuff. Girl. Fuck that song. I'm more concerned with you than the song. You must have got that tech around your neck, no boy. I don't give a damn about that song. No, go ahead and send it to me, man. But shit, come on, girl. All right, I hear you. Yeah, they some hoes. You said you in a fight with yourself. Yeah, man. Like I tell people all the time, the final boss is your own mind. Many people are suffering and they suffering. And a lot of times that comes from your own mind. Yeah, Diane Reeves. When I hear Diane Reeves, oh, it's time to cry, baby. It's time to cry when Diane Reeves come on. I'll be like, shh, man, let me go ahead and get my little boo-hoo on. I don't even care who around when I cry. You gotta let that shit out for all the fellas out there. Some of you women too. Y'all be holding y'all emotions in. That shit will toxify in your body. It's a reason why that energy becomes emotion because it's expelling out the quintuplicated ethers that's inside of you. So let that shit out. You hear me? Because it's definitely engineered to remove the quintuplicated ethers from your being. And the quintuplicated ethers make us very malevolent. They promote grief. It promotes anger and wrath. And we don't want to exhibit that type of emotional behavior. We really don't. You still want to, right? So something to come by in your life every once in a while. or an event or circumstance will occur to where it's going to extricate that from your system because you done got too much buildup. It's analogous to your garbage disposal, right? You know how you wash the dishes and then you put everything go down into the thing, but you don't, you don't turn that garbage disposal on, and then one day shit just be floating inside that end of the sink. Then you turn on the garbage disposal and then it go down. That's how it is with quintuplicated ether, which is negative emotions. And at some point, if you don't release that shit, something gonna happen in your life and make you release that shit. It could be a movie. You be sitting there and shit. You be watching something like Beaches, and be like, God damn, you watch Glory? Catch Glory on a good day, that shit had your ass fucked up. You start crying. And you don't know why you crying. And like, I never cried on this movie before. It's because you got too much negative emotion inside of your solar plexus, and that shit got to come up out of you. He said, I set appointments if I had to get a good cry. Hey, man, I'm not going to even front on you. I got to get me a cry in at least once a month. At least once a month. I got to purge that shit up out of me so I could genuinely feel good. So I could genuinely get a clear reaction to things that make me laugh. You know what I mean? She said she'd be crying watching anime. I don't know about all that. I ain't seen a cartoon that made me cry. Not a cartoon, but I hear you though, Paris. But you want your emotional field to be clear, right? That's between the sacral and the solar plexus. You want that to be clear. That way, when you're laughing, it just makes your laughter, it gives it that much more clarity. When you get angry, your anger becomes that more sincere. You really, it's not a misinterpreted anger. When you get happy, it's a clearness, it's a clarity to your happiness and your enthusiasm, right? You know what I'm saying? So, very important to do emotional maintenance, mental maintenance, spiritual maintenance. These things is very essential to the progression on the trajectory of your spiritual evolution, or you as a spiritual being, right? This allows you to burn out your desires and make you put your mind in check so that you can focus on that which matters most. And that is returning to the bosom of your own creation or creators or creator, right? That's what it's really all about, you guys. They got you out here addicted to the things that they make to flatter you, right? You said, yeah, that's where it happened at though, at your altar, man. Yeah, I'll be crying at that mug too. Not all the time though. Not all the time, but I know when my mama coming, boy. When she come to me after I done been up and stuff, and she want to give me a hug or a kiss or something, it's like a memory that I never seen before, or that I don't remember, or I didn't recall. It'll get brought up. I'm like, damn. I just start crying. But sometimes I'll be like, Mama, is that you? And I did that earlier today while I was up here teaching. I didn't get emotional and stuff, but I felt her energy. And after we got off the live, I checked the timestamp when I felt that, And my sister had called me she texted me on my other phone. She texted me and was like, bro, I need some information. And that was just like, damn. That was just a sim, if you will. This is why I'm always telling people, connect to your dearly departed, man. That's the truest connection that you can have. Every other connection is speculative. It's ambiguous. It doesn't hold a precedence over the connection that you have to a mother or a father, a grandmother or a grandfather, a cousin, a sibling or an uncle or aunt or a neighbor or someone that warded over you that you owe some debt of gratitude to. Those are real spiritual connections that you make. And the beings in the Happy Nile Valley were quite aware of that. And this is why they started to, they were the originators of the concepts of life after death and preparing the body to go into the afterlife and all that and return into the stars in the sky. You hear me? But they shroud all that shit out. And they want to tell you about some man named God. And it's just like, man, get the fuck out of here. Why you think it used to be illegal in this corporation for us to read? They didn't want your ass to get the truth. Only a devil would say something like that. Like, yeah, it's illegal to read. You know what I mean? They know they need their ass whooped for that. Excuse me, you guys. I'm just gotta get a charger from my phone about to go dead. Y'all got any questions? Anything y'all want to go over? We can. I'm all for it. I gotta take the mic off for a minute and let my phone charge. Step it up to the McLaren and dress it up like a parent. Diamonds transparent. Yeah. Yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad y'all be at y'all altar. I'm glad y'all be depositing into your dearly departed in the locality that they reside in the human afterlife. Doing a great job, man. I mean, man, I just gotta give a salute. And I had to give it up for Sekhmet. Shouts out to Sekhmet. And I sent a bunch of ancestor money over to Sekhmet the other day. I was like, man, no, that was today. I was like, no, let me give all this to Sekhmet. And I just watched out. And I did a supplication to her while it was burning. And that joint just kept on beep, 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 beep. And then I said, can you make that stop? And it stopped as soon as I said it. I'm connected to Sekhmet the whole other way, y'all. That was the first spirit that came to me. I didn't go to Sekhmet. She came to me and affirmed to me that I was actually making a real connection with her. And before that time, I didn't know the probabilities of connecting to off-world entities or beings that come from a primordial existence. I had no idea about that. And that's why I be dedicating my lives to people that are new to their spiritual journey. You hear me? Because there was a time I didn't know who Sekhmet was. I didn't know what the pyramids was. I didn't know what chakras was. I didn't know what meditation was. Most people in the Western world have no clue about spiritual knowledge whatsoever, right? All we got is religion over here. He said, hi. What's up, Dwayne? What's up, brother? How you doing, loved one? You know, we don't have any spiritual knowledge. All we got is Jesus Christ. That's it. Jesus Christ and God. And we're taking our social cues from somebody that was illiterate. They couldn't speak Latin. That's why they made pig Latin. Of all the Latins in the world, why do you have to call it pig Latin? You see that? We done went about the pig. That's why I said that's the one piece of meat. I tell y'all, don't eat that pig. You know, that ain't nothing new. That's been advocated from the beginning. Stop eating that pig. That pig only got one vein in his body. It can get bit by a cobra and the poison gonna run down his skin because it don't got no veins and arteries for it to go through. Y'all don't mess with that filthy animal. Other than that, eat what you're gonna eat, but do it in moderation. You know, like my beloved brother Das, one of my Hindu buddies, right? From Bangladesh. He was like, yo, man, whatever can fit in your hand, that's what you consume. If it cannot fit in your hands, and once everything in your hands is gone, that's enough. Because he said when you put your hands together, right? This is a Hindu man. Y'all see how I get on the Hindus. I know about their deities and everything. I honor them too, right? I don't discriminate against no one's stuff. My whole thing is like, yo, cite your source where your shit came from. They don't ever do that. That go for the Hindus. That go for the Greeks. That go for the Jews. That go for the Asians. None of them want to cite that they got their information out of the Happy Now Valley. So I had to get on their ass. But Das, he once schooled me with this. He said your hands, when you put them together, right? That's about the size of your stomach. So right now, if you take your two hands and you put them together like this, that's the only one. I mean, it's the size of your, it's the size of your stomach. It's wild about only having one vein. Yeah, they only got one vein in their body. So it could get bit by a cobra and there's nowhere in the body for that blood to run through. It just runs down the skin. That's nasty as hell. Instead of veins, it got worms. I know y'all done seen them videos where they clip a piece of bacon and stick the bacon into the Pepsi. And then they come back 12 hours later and it's full of worms. And that one little piece of bacon. You see how greasy that shit is, right? Let me tell you something that they do to people, because that shit was for them. Caucasians needed to consume, they needed to have swine because their blood is thin. They're hemophiliacs. They don't have the hemoglobin in their blood that you do. So when they slit their wrists, they'll bleed all the way the fuck out if they don't fucking get no medical attention. You hear me? I used to see that happen when I was in elementary school. We'd be playing pick 'em up, fuck 'em up on the playgrounds. Little white boy hit his nose and that shit was bleeding. And he was like, yo, my nose won't stop bleeding. I'm going to die if I don't do something. That motherfucker passed out and hit his head on the desk. Like when we was, lunchtime was over. Man, that shit spooked the shit out of us. I was like, damn, somebody could die from a bloody nose. And I never forget my teacher saying that. She was like, yo, white people can bleed out. They got to be careful. I was about in the 3rd grade when that happened. And that shit mystified me. But see, I was from the Nation of Islam, but they didn't cover all of that. But that's why they need to eat that swine, because it clogs their arteries. It don't clog their arteries. It make their blood thicker. You try to eat that shit, so-called black people, and that shit clog your arteries. It clogs up your veins and your capillaries because you already got enough hemoglobin in your blood. Your blood is producing enough protein for the iron in your blood. They don't have that. And we up here trying to be like them. Like, don't want to eat like them. Stop wanting to dress like them. Stop wanting to talk like them. Stop wanting to carry on their traditions. You predate them. And that's nothing against my pale people. Shouts out to my pinkies. Right? Shouts out to the snow bunnies. I ain't got nothing against them. But it's more essential in this great day and time for me to be concerned about how I'm going to live my life and what is best beneficial for me to follow. And when I come to the conclusion, because that's what I want, shouts out to my Supreme Grand Master Teacher. See, I can't give you what you want till you learn to want what I have to give. And what he had to give to us was the Happy Nile Valley of Egypt. And we spell Egypt with an I, not a Y, right? Because we don't have to ask why, right? It is I, right? So I'm into my stuff. I'm immersed into my culture. Every time y'all see me on here, I'm going to have on some type of t-shirt that's representing the Happy Nile Valley. I'm going to rep it to the fullest. I can't wait to get me a bomber coat. I'm going to get me a bomber coat and have that shit on the bomber coat. And, you know, next I'm going to start doing the sweats. I'm trying to line it up for the seminar. I'm going to have some sweats for y'all, people that want to get the sweats and the hoodies. I might even do some pajamas, right? It's just some real shit. You gotta tap into your own culture, that which identifies with you. They don't want you doing that. They want you praising that Jesus, that dead man that's on the cross who died for your sins. It's like, man, when did he do that? If he died, where's his body at? That's the first thing I say. Like, yo, where's his body? You said he died for my sins. Where the body at? Oh, you know, he ascended to heaven. No one knows where the body. That's just some convenient bullshit. Oh, that's what's up, Miss Lovely. That's what's up, beloved. It's like, oh, what the fuck going on? God sent his son down to the earth to die? Did he die in God's name or in Jesus' name? Said, shouts out to World Fighters. She said it's the big head scientist, real, Yaqub. Yes, Yaqub is he was real. Yaqub is the father of Yoruba. We talk about that in the book, The Paruti Paradigm. It also mentions that in El Gadush Lohat, which is called the Holy Tablets. The third chapter of the scientist El Mustawathia, and I abstracted a piece of that information from that tablet and use it as a reference in one of my books, Paruti Paradigm. That's an ebook that I wrote. And just to highlight that, because a lot of people miss that read in the Holy Tablets about Yaqub. They just glossed right over that shit. Didn't even see it. But Yaqub is a real individual. He comes from a planet in the Taurus star constellation that's in the southern hemisphere of Nirvana called Aranita. Him and his people, which were the Danakials. That's a 9-ether melanated race of beings with protruding foreheads. You might have seen a depiction of this being in a show that they call Star Wars, Star Trek. They also highlighted these beings on an old comedy show by the name of In Living Color, with a skit that they had with a family called the Buttmans, right? And they mixed in with a group of beings that you know as the Coneheads from another sitcom show that's still thriving today called Saturday Night Live, right? Exactly. His father was Dunakil, and his mother was Teros. And on Aranita, on their planet in the Pleiades, they were warring. You know, all of that stuff belonged to Nirvana. It's all, you know, usurped in the Nirvana portion of the galaxy, right? And they were warring. The Teros and the Dunakils was at war with each other. And the star that belonged to the planet that they lived on was dying. So they had to leave there and come to another planet. And they made a pact with the people they were at war with, that when they got to this planet, that they were going to put their differences to the side and become one family, because they had to live on another planet, which was this one. You know, I don't know why the hell that knew be sending everybody to this motherfucker. And they sent everybody to Earth. Like, yeah, go to Earth. Send everybody to Earth. And they stayed in the center of the planet, in a city that's called Shambhala. Right? I take it you done read the story before, World's Finest Chocolate. Right? I can assume that you're familiar with the story. You know about his parents, Yishak and Lucina. Okay, you're familiar with it, yeah. But that shit is for real. Go to Instagram. Remember I showed you guys, because somebody else in our community asked that WFC. That's what I'm going to start calling you. WFC. Somebody had asked about that in our group. And I said, I'm going to show y'all a real video of a real Donakil. And that nigga head was large as fuck. But that story is real. His consciousness had got hijacked by Kingu. For those that heard me breaking down Kingu earlier. Kingu sent the psychic message to Yakub from the moon and influenced him to conduct the gravitation of the 6 ether albino being that you call today the Caucasian. He is the one that came up with that gravitation, right? He grafted his own being outside the, you know what I mean? He kept tumbling the genes until he got enough albinos to develop the beings in that way. And they ended up in the Isle of Patmos, right? Which is right there in the Mediterranean Sea. But yeah, if you go get my book, The Paruti Paradigm, because I show the people, and you can go Google this. Just pull up albino Hindus. When you pull up an albino Hindu, you're going to see a picture of a dude that looked like Prince Henry. Somebody said, that looked like Prince Henry or Prince Harry. And they do. Sometimes they look like Drew Barrymore or Terry Bradshaw. Even Bill Clinton. He got a Scandinavian swag to them. You like, damn, that's a Hindu? Like, yeah. See, the Hindus is the 6 ether Asiatic black man. You see a lot of people try to say that so-called white people are 6 ether beings. They're 6 ether albinos. Just like you got 9 ether albinos, you got 6 ether albinos. And those two groups of people came together and started to copulate. Then they remixed in with the Asiatic black man. And they did it so much that they started to bleach out the original Asiatic black man. Now you don't see a whole bunch of dark-skinned Hindus no more, right? Just like my brothers and sisters in Mexico, they used to be dark-skinned until the conquistadors came and started to bleach them out. You hear me? They were bleaching them out. Them, the Frenchmen, you know, the Portuguese. That's why Mexicans get pissed off when you say they speak Spanish. They not from Spain. They hate the Spaniards. A lot of people are not aware of that, man, that are not Mexican. That should be irritating me when I be around people and they'll see someone that's from Guatemala and they'll call them Mexican, not knowing you done offended that person. Or see a Mexican person and call them Puerto Rican. That shit is that's an offense to them. Not no disrespect to the Puerto Ricans. But it's like, people, when you're not aware of who you are, it's going to be very difficult for you to become aware of who other people are, right? And this was done by Yaqub. This was done on purpose. He said that he was going to make a wicked being. Because the people used to pick on his ass. The nigga had a big watermelon ass head. You know, them kids was fucking, you know, they was brutal with that nigga. You know they was, right? But I hope that answers your question, beloved. Yeah, Yaqub is real. That's where they get the word Jacob from. Because the letter J used to be a Y. And if you look at that, you will see Jacob or Yaqub, right? Once you join our community, you'll be brought up to speed. But I tell people about the linguistics across the different syntax and semantics being disseminated across languages, or transliterations across languages that's using the semantics that they're using. It'll trip you up, because all you got to really do is just switch out the vowels in most words, and then you will see. Said the tribe of Shabazz. What about the tribe of Shabazz? You got a question about them? Yeah, the tribe of Shabazz, that's some made up terminology. There was really no tribe of Shabazz. You know, they belonged to Shezabar. Shezabar was the head vizier or wizard. You know, he was he was the right hand to Yaqub. And he helped Yaqub conduct his experiment, and neither one of them lived long enough to see their goals come to fruition. You know, so when you hear the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, may peace be upon him, talk about the tribe of Shabazz, and he said that we're from the lost tribe of Shabazz, and we are the Asiatic black man, he was talking about the Hindus. And he didn't even know that that's who he was talking about. And he also wasn't aware that he was in psychic rapport, or he had a psychic rapport with Kingu, the being on the moon. And if you go look up the records of the Nation of Islam and pull up some of their old lectures, listen, you can hear Elijah Muhammad himself tell you that this planet was hit with a plutonium bomb and that your moon came out the fucking earth. So he confirms it too. But he was getting his information from the Hindus. That's why he say Asiatic black man. And he didn't know no better, because all he could understand is English. He didn't even understand English, but he could speak English, right? Anybody got any questions out there? It's Q&A with Dr. Red. If you guys have any questions, you can ask questions. It's all good. I don't get offended when people ask questions. But don't do like my beloved sister B More there. That ain't no shot at you, B More. You don't know no better. But when y'all come in here, just ask your question. Don't put a word up there and attempt to see what I know about it. Ask the question that you might have, and I could definitively, the more clearer you ask the question, the more clearer I can respond to it, right? Come join us in Atlanta, March the 6th and the 7th. Excuse me, March the 7th and the 8th. Come join us March the 7th and the 8th for the 1089 seminar. Tickets are available on the website. Check out all the other products. We got Moringa Apparel, Ancestor Money Oils, Orgonite medallions and pendants. Readings. Doing readings. We got the readings. I don't use tarot cards. I use runes. That's something we're going to talk about in the science of the Netaru. Right? On the Het Hiru Day, we're going into that. 1089techvision.com. That's the place to be, you guys. All right? Get that moringa. I need to get some water right fast. If you guys don't have no questions, you're going to get that up out of here. I don't know how the tap thing works. Y'all bear with me a second. So I could take that moringa. Make sure y'all get y'all moringa, man. I said I answer what at the seminar? What I say I'm going to answer at the seminar, loved one? Woo! That's enough potassium. Beans? I don't know what you're talking about. No, if you want to find... No, it don't leave us... See, when you get that scratchy feeling in your throat, that's because what you want to do is put it on the back of your throat or on the back of your tongue, because it's very powdery. And what's happening is you dumping that shit on your tongue or dumping it in your mouth, and it's creating a moringa cloud. And it's getting caught on the back of your throat. But I don't really get it like that. What's happening, if you're feeling it like that, it's because your body is trying to absorb that potassium and the minerals and the nutrients and them different vitamins. Your body might have been thriving for some of the vitamins and minerals that the moringa provides. And it's just your body reacted to it. Like, I just took the moringa, man, that shit, it don't even make it down in my system. That's why you got to drink some water, because your whole body will be thirsting for some of these minerals and some of these minerals, some of these vitamins. We be malnutritious in those areas. No, I didn't say I do that like world finesse, world finest chocolate, right? Chocolate, you know, this information is infinite. I have an infinite access to information. So everything leading up to the seminar, right? See, when you get to these seminars and these events, nothing is impromptu. Everything is set up now, except the question and answers. Because I do everything right in front of your face, except for the PowerPoints and stuff that I have already preset. But these are things that you can learn that require your focus and concentration. But leading up to the seminar, it's a juncture in the data that gets disseminated. And once we leave from the seminars and go back on TikTok again, or back on the YouTube again, because that's what we're going to start coming into YouTube more, we'll expound on what we covered in the seminar. And people will be like, oh man, what? They don't even know, because they wasn't there at the seminar. So when everything leading up to the seminar, those people that's there, they'll get the full gist of what I'm expounding on after the seminar, because it's a continuation from there. And I do that every 3 to 4 months. I do another seminar so that people can, because the information is infinite. It's really eternal. It's coming from an eternal space, and it's funneling into an infinite spectrum, right? Which we belong a part of in this physical dimension. It's very vast. It's quite vast, the amount of information that gets allocated. And you're not going to just get it in one sitting. People want to, and I'm not saying for you, beloved, but people misinterpret what the omnipresence is, or having access to the all and operating from a state of near consciousness of an all-knowing being. That puts you on the eternal frequency. And they think that, oh man, I can get the answers to everything in 10 minutes. It only takes 2 hours to go through everything. No, it don't. This shit is vast, man. It's extremely vast. Hell, light itself travels, it travels about 6 trillion miles in 1 year. That's how far light can travel in 1 year. And they said by the time light travels, listen, 1 million miles, right? That's about the length that it could go in 10 seconds. In order for us to go that fast, or that far that fast, everything that you know and love will be dead within the first 10 minutes of your travels, because you you will never see them again. Just to put it into context when it comes to processing the information. Because see, we was taught how to process information wrong. That's why I be bombarding y'all with so many lies and so much knowledge, right? You're not supposed to be, no, that's how they goofy ass needed to learn. You don't need to learn like they got you thinking like them. They got you doing everything like them. But it's a very vast amount of information. And, just like Paris, shouts out to Paris. I don't know if she came in here and left. I know I was a simp for you, Paris. Like, oh shit, this nigga in here on the YouTube. Seeing I was live, right? But Paris ain't been around. I'm going to get on you, Paris. Paris ain't been around for a minute. And it's a whole bunch of people that's in the group now that wasn't there when Paris was there. And that go for a lot of people. Some people do that. They'll leave, they go through whatever they're going through. And when they come back, it be a whole bunch of new people. They ain't never like, damn, who was all these people? I'm a guy who said that shit to me. They're like, man, who was all these people in here? I don't recognize none of these people. Man, damn, I don't know nobody here, Dr. Ray. I remember Mama Drina said that when she came to the S seminar. She was like, only person I recognize is D.I.'s and your daddy. I don't know none of these people. I done heard their names before, but I ain't seen them. That shit was crazy. You know, and that's how I be sometimes, you guys. But this is not going to stop. It's perpetual. It keep going. You know, that's why you want to take notes. You want to do your reading. You want to cross-reference. You know, I give out the study habits to acquire through the 1089 manual. That's available on the website as well. And, you know, a lot of people have got positive results. Because as I say in the discourse, if you kind of do it, it kind of works. If you really do it, it really works. You hear me? A lot of people be kind of wanting to do something. They don't really want to invest their time and their energy and their finances into their personal development, right? You have to invest into your spiritual education because you can't get it at Harvard or Yale. There is no grant for it. So that's a self-investment that needs to be taken. And, you know, I've deposited, you know, over 75 grand towards my spiritual education. That's how I can access the knowledge that I do have because I invested in myself. But I didn't get no doctorate from one of these fake ass Ivy League schools for doing that. Their form of spirituality is called the Roman Catholic Church. They want, that's where you get your doctorate of divinity from Pope Francis. I forgot the new Pope name. Somebody tell me the new Pope name. I'm gonna look his ass up. I know his ass from America. Look up the new Pope. The coke white on white like Pope Francis. Pope Leo, that's that nigga name. Pope Leo the 14th. You look like a pedo. I think he got the same birthday as you, Miss Lovely. Is Miss Lovely still in the building? And he from Chicago. Shouts out to my people in the Chi-Town. Said this Google asked to verify yourself. No, I did an audit. Shouts out to Ricky Rodriguez, my moderator and my cybersecurity expert. I did a full audit on all my Google accounts. And none of my shit is being tracked. So, I don't know what that's about. No, they don't be tracking my ass. When I do my real deep diving search, I don't even use Google. I just use it for little surface shit like that. I use DuckDuckGo. I use DuckDuckGo, or I go to the Copilot, you know, the AI that I use. I go to Copilot and I tell the Copilot to pull me up to cite some sources, and then I run that shit across DuckDuckGo. That's what I usually do. And now I got the full wipe down. Shit, I'm good. I'm good. They can't get inside of it. And see, they be still trying, y'all. That's why I be telling y'all don't be posting no links in the Google chat space. Because somebody, they still doing it. They keep, for some reason, they keep taking $77 and $206 out my fucking account. That shit pissing me off. They keep doing it, or it's pending. It's pending. And they keep doing that shit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? But I had a whole bunch of stuff open on my account and attached to my account. And some of you guys, whether you aware of it or not, they be tracking you. You being tracked. And then if your shit is being hacked, the hacker jump on the back of the tracker and get into your fucking phone. That's how they be hacking. I know hackers. Right? So you gotta be careful out here in these streets. And see, it's certain stuff that does not need to come across the internet. And that's another reason why we be having these events. And they be trying to hack through my computer and see what we talking about. So I'm not even gonna use the Google. I ain't even using it. Because they tap into my shit every time I do it. And they do it to try to promote to you guys, anything in relation to what we doing in our seminars, just so they can sell your ass something. They just so thirsty, man. It's thirsty. But be careful out there. What's up, DP? Dwayne? Talk to me. No. But anybody else? Anybody else got any questions? That temperature starting to drop. It's time to pull the hoodie out. All right. Well, y'all know tomorrow TikTok Tuesdays. We did Move Magic Mondays. We extended it into TikTok and went over the Tree of Life, and we then came here on the YouTube, did a little Q&A, made a little content out of a few trolls. Now it's time to say goodbye. Right? Now it's time to say goodbye, man. And we'll spin the block again and get back on it again tomorrow. I got a lot of stuff to upload, a lot of content to upload. Y'all look for this to pop up, and we're gonna keep it moving. KIM. See you guys a little bit later. May the ancestors be with you. May the Most High bless you with a peaceful night's rest and an early rise in the AM. See you guys a little bit later here on the 1089 TechVision.com platform. All right? I do.